Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Minister of the Covenant, Breaker of Seven Seals. The American Empire. The end of empire. America Empire. That's what you're witnessing. There will be two world empires, Gog and Magog. And there's only two that you know of. America and Britain. That's the short side of chapter 20, Gog and Magog. They try to tell you Gog is Russia. Right there it says it'll be two out of a 1,000-year period. That's European history. Dark Ages. A resurrected empire kept them locked down for 1,000 years. This is clear. See, brothers and sisters, there's no excuse. Those people that don't come to this light and apply the light, there'll be absolutely no excuse. Because this is so clear. There's no light out there anywhere near as bright as this. I mean, this light puts all those lights, well, they're not even lights. They pretend to be lights. But see, if you're blind, somebody can tell you there's a light. You just have to accept their word for it. And that's what the preachers are doing. They're telling you, well, it's accepted. See? Meanwhile, just put money in the basket. See, why don't you accept that there's some money in the basket? You understand? This is so clear. It can be proven clearly, simply. It's our track record of accurate reporting of future events that's taking place right now. It's totally clear. It follows scriptures 100%. You had to go on scripture 100%. The God, the messenger, son of robbed nation, then the messenger of the covenant. And right now, even those people that claim they would, you know why? They can't get around the fact that says you should seek the message of the covenant. And that Farrakhan stuff is not him because he's not preaching the covenant. They say you should be seeking the message. It's right there. That's their claim of being behind Elijah, Malachi. That's their claim. Yet still, it's clear. You're supposed to be seeking the message of the covenant. See? So they have no excuse. That's one of the things, see, that's one of the things that we do through the gods. Before we judge a people or take down people, we make it so clear that they're guilty. That's why it says in the Quran, everybody says that the judgment was just. The judgment was just. Because it's so, see, they might say, oh man, I wonder why he did that. That's not just. They will say judgment is just because it's so clear. How could you miss that? How could you miss it? Farrakhan, I didn't know he was a devil. What you was told, wasn't you? Well, yeah, but I don't believe it. Well, did you go check? Did you go check? You asked Farrakhan? We got more records saying it. Well, I didn't. Well, that's your problem. So I lost a lack of knowledge. That's why light is knowledge. Knowledge is what the mind takes and transforms into the brain. We not transport, but brings it, transfers into the brain. See, inputs into the brain. Brain gets input from the mind. The mind gets input from the world around. You understand? And so the information is there. People lost for lack of knowledge. Why? Okay, if it's lack because you chose to be like, that's your problem. If you lost because other people blocked it, then that's their problem. It's your problem too, really. But it's theirs too, because they're going to have to be responsible for blocking that light. And the judgment's going to be just, it's going to be terrible. They said only a few would make it. What's that prayer? It said it'd be so few men that 10 women would take hold of one man. 10 women would take hold of one man. They fighting over one man. You're begging him, could they be his wives? That's what the Bible says. That's just so few. And why is that? Remember, it's not talking about the devils because they won't be around to have any wives. Tell me you. Why is that? When this is so clear. He said the truth be so clear in the fool wouldn't err, but you're erring. I mean, there's no information out there as clear as this. You don't have exceptional faith. And plus, you have to pay for it. You have to pay a dime for it. You have to do anything. Right? All you have to do is take the information and then apply it for what? To help yourself. Not help me. Help yourself. How can you go wrong with that? So either a demon or you're so weak-minded, because remember it's vectors. But the vector is a combination between your vector and theirs. If you got a real weak, you may be original, but if you got a real weak mind, then you can't overcome their vector. No matter what I tell you, you're not going to be able to overcome it. Like if you're born mentally challenged, I could send you to any college and university in the world. You may be original, but that's not going to matter. I can get all the best teachers, you're not going to ever learn anything. And we got people like that. See? And some of that is because of whether they're feeding us and all that kind of stuff, we produce defective children. Yeah, I didn't talk about that before, but some of us produce defective children. And so they can't do anything about that. That's why you went to the wilderness. We won't accept them either. It is children, they're defective, we don't accept them. Now we're going to go out and reject them directly? No. Because it was by definition, the criteria is you have to come to this level of knowledge. You have to climb that ladder. If you can't climb the ladder, I don't care if you're male, female, old, 9, or 1,000 years old, or whatever you want to call yourself. If you can't climb the ladder, that's just it. That's it, period. Because you won't be anything in the new world. You won't have to understand. You'll be totally lost. Because it's going to be a world of mathematics. A world of mathematics. This world is a world of mathematics too. It's not just totally on the conscious level, because they'll not apply it to how the universe, how to apply it themselves. But still, the reality of mathematics, or just computers mathematics, your cell phones mathematics, all the stuff you do it's all based on mathematics. It's just that they don't understand. Most of it's theoretical. They don't know how to apply it to themselves personally. They know how to use mathematics. Now the Greeks know how to use mathematics in the past. They had a form of mathematics. But that's the criteria. You have to get in the Lamb's Book of Life. The only way you get there, you have to climb that ladder, get that angel. That's it, period. Case closed. And I'm going out of my way, and I'm not going to say it's out of my way because I have no issues doing it. It's just an extra push. They still have to climb that ladder. Still have to climb that ladder. And from my perspective, right, I have to give a little extra push because they got other response. Because I mean, they still take care of this nation. They still feed the children. They still deliver the children. There's different things, right? So that's it, right? So that gives the males an unfair advantage because, I mean, it wouldn't be if it was out there help change the diapers and everything else too. But we know we ain't doing that. Okay. So, and that's on me. Right? But still, no, I cannot protect them if they don't come to that level. I cannot protect you if you don't rise to that level. I can only give you a push and provide, some shelter for a short period of time. But I cannot protect you. Once this new reality comes in, I cannot protect you. If you can't deal with it, that's on you. That's the level that's the level the mind's going to be on, right? And all things new. Think it mathematically. And I don't see too many people, I don't see anybody do it actually. So you're going to get a helping hand on that. Because actually the sister's getting, but the brother's getting a helping hand too, because Master Farmer's going to give you a big helping hand. He's going to put some fire on you, some fire will move you. It shuts down this reality. Major blow to it, bam. Cripple it. Okay. Break that vector that's holding you down. Break the power of it. So now if you had a power to rise up, they put a balloon under the ground, right, underwater, you take the foot off, it's going to come out. But if it's not deflated, it doesn't matter take the foot off or not, it's going to just lay there. Maybe a balloon, but it's deflated. You understand, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you understand or not. So those clowns out there with their BS, they don't bother me. I see them, they run around crazy, frantic. All of a sudden they got fire call over the YouTube now, right? They're trying to give kind of credibility. They don't show everything. It doesn't matter. I don't care what they show. You ain't gonna get around the fact as far as the devil. Pure and simple. I don't hear anything else beyond that. There's nothing else. Oh, it's, no, God, well, I don't hear anything. It's nothing you can tell me to get around that one. Now, if you believe anything what Master Muhammad said, Elijah Muhammad said, there's nothing you can tell me to get around that. He's not Abraham's seed, so that covenant doesn't apply to him. That's why it says, Daniel said, he despised the covenant. It doesn't apply to him as far as the devil. You know, it's mine or the devil's father, a light-skinned Jamaican. Well, that's not the story Farrakhan was telling. I'm pretty sure he never told Elijah Muhammad's father was the devil, because that didn't come out until after the messenger was departed. And in fact, right, I'm the only one who really pushed it, but he actually made an interview where he stated, he said his father's parents, not his mother's parents, father's parents were white Portuguese Jews. White Portuguese Caucasian Jews. You got him saying it. I know he wouldn't reveal that while Elijah was around, because anywhere in the world Elijah would have put up with that one. So he made that expose himself. I mean, he figured he's safe to say that, because it doesn't matter who created you in the womb. It doesn't matter who your father is, mother. Why do you need sperm and eggs then? God made you in the womb, and they still pushing that bullshit. But it says Abraham's seed. You know what seed means? Apple seed is apple seed. Orange seed is orange seed. You can't mix the two up. Apple seed will never produce an orange ever. And once you never produce an apple ever, it's impossible, it can't happen. And you are the seed. You started out as a seed, as a sperm. Your father carries a seed, period. So you are what your father is, period. There's no question about that. Now if you can show me different, I'll give you $1,000 right on the spot. Prove to me that's wrong. That's not biology. Now tell me something special. Tell me how God overrides that process. Show me a scripture where it says it does that. Tell me what overrides that process. Where it doesn't matter who your mother and father is. There's my seed in there, right? Ancestry. Why are you talking about that if it doesn't matter? It says your seed. It says your seed. Well, he's not Abraham's seed. So he's not following covenant. And plus, it wasn't his parents, right? I mean, his seed, it was his parents that brought about the Holocaust. It was his parents that oppressing everybody. You see, because his daddy, the devil's, that's his dad. He was the one doing all this. But see, you had that conflict between the demons and them. See, so you remember movie, I saw Django, that Kevin, what his name was, right? Steven or whatever. You see how he was act towards him? Because he was part of the family. He was a demon. He's probably was, which comes to make what that guy's got, he probably was his brother. I mean, he said it like it was his family. He sat back and everybody, it was totally accepted. And he hated niggers. See, that's a demon problem. Because, Daddy, how come you don't accept me, Daddy? I'm your child. Yeah, but you're a nigger. Yeah, but Daddy, Daddy, you're still my daddy. That's the problems they have. And they get mad at Daddy because Daddy won't accept them. And Daddy won't accept them because they're black. Plus, socially, you can't go around telling people a nigger's a son. So, they get perks. They be house niggas. They can work in the house. They still niggas though. But they can work in the house. They don't have to work in the field because they're just children. Those are the perks they got. See? Unless they acted up. But that's close they got. But you saw that movie, his Kevin, what his name was? Right? He was family. He wasn't no say he was family. DiCaprio, right? That was his brother. And that's why you see in the so-called civil rights and everything, you had two directions. You had the Elijah Muhammad direction that was the original people followed that direction. You had a demon direction. One wanted to separate and one wanted to get close to Master. Cause man, I'm one of you. I'm your children. Dad, you're my daddy. And so they were fighting to get in. I want to live with you. I want to sleep with my brothers and sisters. See, they're my family. I want to marry one of them. They're my family. I want to be with them. I'm tired of these. I want to get rid of. I want to get this curse of blackness off me. I want to marry one of my relatives, one of my devil relatives. So I have children that don't have that curse on them. Oh, you think that doesn't matter? You think they don't look at it that way? To them, they know that black's the curse is stopping them from being with mass like they want to be. Being all taking full part of this whole reality. They don't think they see that? Someone lighting themselves up. I mean, you got the demons over in Arabia. They were big with that. Arabians don't turn white already. You got so many, you got demons. Demons all over the world. I never talked about that really deeply. Let me speak to that for a minute. I didn't mean to do that today, but I'm sort of bored up. America, I talk about a gravitational vortex. America is the gravitational vortex. It's like a magnet. It's drawing demons and devils from all over the planet here. That's one of the things that, I told you, we planned this whole thing out. And we turned everything to our advantage. Turn ourselves from coal. It takes a lot of pressure to turn ourselves from coal into diamonds. Plus, putting way over here so we can draw all, I told you, only place going to be nuked is America. So we're going to bring as many demons and devils over here as possible. Because you say, why don't the people come, they drawing here? Because they had the same mindset. I'm talking the Arabs and everybody else. What the hell come there for? Even the Indians, what they come? If you had a real original mind, a righteous mind, you wouldn't want to come over here. You wouldn't come within a million miles of this place. Why would I come over here? We run around naked and transgender, all this stuff. Why would you want to be around that kind of stuff? Dogs, when people got dogs running in their house and that kind of stuff. I've never seen a movie yet, an African movie with a dog in it. Never seen one yet. It may be, I may miss something. I haven't seen one because that far as I know, it don't happen. They don't bring dogs in their houses. They have dogs. They don't bring them in the house, that's for sure. The worst people who do that are Europeans. So this is like a magnet drawing them. So when the end comes, boom, we get like rid of a lot of one shot. Because once that war starts, they're gonna close the door. If you ain't in, if you in, you ain't getting out. If you're out, you ain't getting in. Well, they might let somebody in, but you ain't getting out if you in here. They're gonna lock. Remember 911? They locked up. They're gonna lock it up. So those people here right now, really bullshit. They're fuel for the fire. They're fuel for the fire. And the only thing that's gonna protect you if you go to tribulation is that you have to have an asbestos suit, 5 pills, because you're gonna be walking through fire. Do you understand that? You're gonna be walking through the fire in the furnace. And I won't be with you. I mean, there was a possibility. Daniel said, you know, and Angel said, no, but I'm not going to do it. Because if you do that, that's the only way you're going to make it. Because remember, when you put gold in, you put the gold to burn off the impurities, but all the gold is impurities, then the whole gold going to get burned up. Okay? You put the gold in to burn off the impurities, so it'll be pure gold. But the whole damn gold is defective, impure, then it's all going to melt, it's all gone. And that's what it is. Because when you come out here, you're going to be right. And if you ain't right, those that make it, they ain't right. I tell you what happened to them. Everlasting shame and torment. They fuel for the fire forever. Fuel for mockery. I don't know if I should say this. The other thing is, you know, God can't lie. Why? God made liars. I mean, he can't make something he can't be himself. Or he even imagine it. He can be whatever he want to be. He may set up some emotion, make me shed blood. What was that about? The point is, he disciplined. This was the difference. He disciplined in his nature. He disciplined his nature. That's the difference. See? He won't like him, lie. He wants whatever. He disciplined his nature. That's the difference. You understand? So he'll tell what God can do, what he can't do, what he wants to do. They discipline his nature. And they can't discipline theirs. And we're the most disciplined people on the planet. Because we had the potential for it. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, yeah. Empire. So we're going to do the math. You have to rise to the level of math, brothers and sisters. I haven't seen anyone do it yet. But that's true. You have to master it to get through. If you get through without it, that means however you did it. But you're not coming through whole. Might as well not there at all. Back to that point I was talking about justice, right? You see what's happening right now in the world? Even right now, I got people saying, whatever happens to false Israel is just. It says, rocks will cry out, justice. So everybody will say, yes, just. Everybody say, it was just what happened. That's about to happen. It's going to be made clear in a few more days, because it says this gospel, it tells you, it says this gospel means angel in Arabic, and when Jesus was talking, he was talking about the Revelation, that's the book he revealed. He says, this gospel will be preached in all the world. That's what they call Revelation, the gospel. Sometimes it's called New Testament, so-called New Testament. But it's still unveiled because it only could be unlocked by an angel. He said, this is preaching all the world. That means it's going to overcome all resistance suddenly, and then the end will come. What you mean it will come? That means it brought about the end. It brought about the end. Because that truth, remember, truth is a force. Truth is the force of the time. Yeah, I hate to say truth is like this. Well, every action has an opposite reaction. That's a universal truth. But when I talk about truth, I talk about, is it in season? Is it in season? There's the truth. Make Mr. Shed Blood was in season. So it was the truth. Sunnism was not in season. So they weren't the truth. They were the jinn. It was a curse. But see, you never see it like that. You never thought of it like that. Because you think some ultimate positive truth. And the universe is constantly changing. Things change. And that effect right there tells you something that throws off right there. How can, if that's your idea is right, then that doesn't ever make any sense at all. How you going to have in charge by God? This God is Satan is doing this talking like this. But then why is the angels submit to him? It doesn't make any sense. The only way it makes sense is you have to say that God put somebody in charge going to maybe shed blood. Why? Because that must be the season that's season for that. So truth is based on the situation. What's the situation and the state of the universe at that time. Like I told you, the angel will only last a short period of time after once we get home, right? Once we're home, as firmly situated, and the apocalypse is over, the angel will be of no value anymore. It's already done its job. It's playing everything till you got your mind back, so what value is it? Right? Unless there's some other value like the Quran, the value of the Quran primarily right now is just recital. That's what was given. That's why I call it recital. That was part of the things back there was set up to make sure that Suleiman would get it, right? Because it's part of the 5 pillars. It's required to develop your discipline. It's a technique to show you how to. It's a technique to show you how to master your discipline, and that's definitely needed. Without that, we have a problem. Learn the angel, right? That gets your mind, but doesn't get your discipline. It's like uploading the angel doesn't get your discipline. You might need some discipline to learn to activate it, right? But it's not teaching you discipline. See, you get your mind straight so you can feed the correct information to your brain. But you need the 5 pillars. That gives you the discipline. And so the Quran was part of all those scriptures. Remember, because all those scriptures those scriptures was prepared for the message of the covenant. Angel the mind back. The Quran, the discipline. He knows how to use those things. But you didn't know what it was for. You had to still doing your little 5 prayers a day. That doesn't work anymore. If it works, how come it's not work for them? How can they have that victory in 500 years? If that works, how come it's not working now for them? See, that's the truth. If that's the ultimate truth, right? It should work all the time, right? If their idea, you got one truth that works all the time, then they should still be in charge, shouldn't they? They should be in charge, shouldn't they? Because I mean, they got the Mecca, they got the language, they got the land, they got the Quran, right? They got the prophet. That's the ultimate truth according to him. Then shit, nobody should be able to mess with them, right? They got ultimate power. That's the ultimate truth, right? They say it's ultimate truth, right? Then why is it failing now? Why has it been failing for 500 years? This truth is clear. They can answer these type of questions. Because the truth knocks their brains out of falsehood. They not getting brains out of who's getting their brains knocked out? Them. So if that statement is true, truth knocks the brains out of falsehood. Who's getting their brains knocked out? So it must be that as soon as it's falsehood. And if you say that's the truth, or it's true sometimes, is that how it works? My brothers and sisters. American Empire, N. Okay, look at this. This is the principle. You understand? Not it's your problem, bro. It says, we're not here to convince you. If you get it or you don't get it. See? So my job is to take and get information. And you have to qualify. It says, many be called, only a few be chosen. It means he's choosing you, you ain't choosing him. They're choosing you. You ain't choosing him. You don't care if you come here or not. Mass time acceleration equals force. Universal. That's the truth always. That's the universal truth because it's the fabric of the universe. Mass time acceleration equals force. That's the truth all the time. That's the truth. Absolute truth. There's absolute truth. Mathematical absolute truth. Now seasonal, that's work forever. Always has work, always will. In a pressure field, all force is equal. There's another truth. Or if the force is not equal, you get a current. What is a current? A current is a corrective force that was the current to put it back stable again. You have a lake that's quiet and everything else, right? That means pressure is equal at every point. Force is equal at every point. But if you say current, that means, oh, well, this point is, there's more pressure in this point. Just like if you open the windows in the house, right, you get a breeze go through, because one side of the house, the pressure is lower than the other side, so now you got an adjustment. So the air is pulled on the other side, adjusted to pressure equal both sides, then the current is gone. The breeze is gone. That's what current is a corrective force in a pressure field. It makes sure everything's equal again. Because once everything's equal, everything settles down and it's quiet all over again. See? That's what current is, just corrective. Because all force has to be equal in a pressure field. So the difference is the structure. They say mass times acceleration. So if the force is 12 and your mass is 12, then your acceleration will be 1. 1 times 12 is 1. If it's opposite, if the mass is 1 and the acceleration, that'd be 12. It means you're accelerating faster because you got a simple mass. The lower the mass, the weaker the structure, the greater acceleration. Okay? And that's what happened. We gave by taking and making Yaku's graph creation, their simple structure, they have more acceleration than us. They mean they think faster, act faster, and everything else because they had a weaker structure in this period of time. But a weaker structure, as energy increases, right? They move fast because they have more, right? But the point is, a weaker structure. Remember, you're in the pressure field now. So as the energy increases in the pressure field, the pressure increases. But you got a weaker structure. So sooner or later, even though you move faster than everybody else, you're gonna be crushed because you got a weaker structure. You can't withstand the pressure in this pressure field. I want you to understand these things, brothers and sisters. That's why those are being crushed now. They move faster, they think fast, like all this stuff, right? The point is, they're a weaker structure, and the pressure is increasing. Universe is contracting, so therefore, it's crushing them. Nothing they can do about it because they have a weaker structure. We have the strongest structure in the universe. The problem is, we don't use it because they taught us to act without discipline. So that's another story to get. I'm not going into detail here. But anyway, the difference in structure is what they call mass, M. But 7 times 10 is 70, and 2 times 35 is 70. Right? So one got a complicated mass of 35, one got a simple mass of 7. Both equal 70. But the one 7, look how much fast moving around. 10 times, 5 times faster than the other one. So it means thinking faster than everything else. But as the pressure increases, their simple structure after a while crumbles under the pressure, crushed under it. Both equal in force, energy, yet different in structure, mass. If you understand the principle, but you might as well just close up and just go because that's all. Everything is built on that basic structure. Holocaust, false vision detection, American empire. Let's do the math, brothers and sisters. Now I'm going to give you a simple illustration here. I hope you can follow it. I'm saying you got gold and you got shit. Now I'm classifying the gold. I'm saying on the gold, if you got gold, right, now what I'm referring to, right, is your brain. And your brain, your mind, the mind you have, right, cannot be greater than the brain, because the brain won't be handled. If you got a real simple hardware, in your motherboard in your computer, but you got Windows 10, 20, 30, it's not going to do anything because the motherboard just can't handle that level. You got a version 1980 motherboard, and you got a 2000 operating system. It won't do it any good. You can't handle it. It's too complicated for it. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with your brain. So you can't get a mind. Your mind has to be either lower or equal to the complexity of your brain. You can't go above it. Otherwise, it's useless. It's useless. Okay. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to get some of the qualities. If you got a gold brain, right, you can have a gold mind. And this kind of qualities you have. You have peace, creativity, harmony, love, cooperation, inspiration, truth, healing, confusion. Those are attributes of a gold mind. But if you got a shit mind, which is lower structure, weaker structure, right? Conflict, mischief, shed blood, right? Conflict, destructive, death, divisive, hate, resistance, oppression, lies, killing, mischief. That's the level they're on. So you got a shit mind. Now I gotta be careful that because I say mind, people say, was he talking about mind or he talking about mind? See, that's a damn stupid ass language. So I'm talking about mind, F-I-N-D. Yeah, F-I-N-M-E. Right? That's a gold mine. But see, that'll confuse you with this, right? Because this is a gold mine too over here with a D. I'm trying to avoid that confusion here as much as possible. I'm talking about mind, M-I-N-D, right? Shit mind or gold mind, right? Now that's what I'm qualified. I'm just giving you some basic one so you understand what I'm talking about. So if you got a shit mind or shit brain, a low structured brain, then I say that's a shit relative to the goal. Once gold relative to that, this was shit. Because when you want peace, that conflict, right? Life as opposed to death, right? Inspiration, oppression, hate, love. See? Okay, understand that. Hope you understand it. You see here, it's original people, original black man, original black woman. Look, gold mines. Gold mines. Go ahead before we came here. But the Europeans had shit mine. How do we know that? They're shit mines. We're gold mines. Let's look into their history. You see here? This is a 1,000-year period. What was they doing? Killing, mischief, shed blood. Wasn't building anything. It was a jungle. It was that called abyss. Disease, war, rape, murder. All those attributes I was telling you about. Confusion, tyranny, betrayal, lies. That's what all going on in the Middle East. When they was all Middle Ages, while they was all by themselves up in Europe, fighting each other constantly fighting and everything. So they had a shit mind. Remember, they was isolated by. So they wasn't affected by anybody else's. They was locked up by the Arabs, Abraham's Islamic Empire, but they wasn't in there influencing them. They wasn't in England and France, and all that plus, right? They were in Spain, but they wasn't in there influencing. So they wasn't under influencing. There wasn't no vectors coming in influencing. That was totally them. That was their nature. That was their nature. Shit mind. That's that. Well, left alone, that's what they was doing. You understand that, bro? Left alone, that's what they was doing. Not affected by anybody. But what was we doing during that time? See, we had gold mines. We built pyramids. We building stuff, right? We in Africa. Men and women working together, right? We didn't have no major wars and all that kind of stuff going on then. I mean, you saw a movie with Shaka Zulu. The idea of war is that if they had conflict between two tribes, they would get together and then they would dance. Who was the best dancer is the one that won the argument. No shed blood. I mean, they were shocked when Shaka Zulu came along. And that was something that's made up. You know, that's the way it was in Africa. You didn't have any major wars, all that kind of stuff. You had building and peace, prosperity. How do you know that? Because the point, if they came with slaves, they weren't slaves that's intelligent. I mean, if you want to get you an ox or a horse, you don't get one that's broken down and sick. You want to get one that's healthy and strong. And we was the strongest, healthiest people on the planet. That's why they want us slaves. They try to enslave their own people. It wouldn't work. These are absolutely facts. They call them indentured servants. They entered own people and they couldn't get them to work. Remember when they was in Europe, they called them plebs and serfs. And they were lazy. It was hard to get them to work. And then when they came over here, right, first they tried the natives. They couldn't get them to. But part of the problem was and they said it was lazy, is that they was on home turf. So it was hard to hold on to them. They would escape. And they had plenty of friends and tribes and everything else they could run to, right? And it was hard to identify because how you identify them from any other so-called native. So that didn't work. So they tried indentured servants. Look up indentured servants. That means they tried to brought people over from Europe and then have an indentured servant. So they didn't make them work. So they didn't call them slaves. Called indentured servants. See? That whole slave terminology, all that stuff, that's a whole nother story I talk about all the time. Because you're a slave right now, you just don't know it. Understand? So that's what that was. Let me see what's going on here, but I was just going to have to. Okay. That's what it was. So, like I said, they would. That's about enslavement. And so anyway, that's what they. But in Africa, they was doing that. They was following their nature over there. In Africa was following their nature. It was building at peace. So forth. I just mentioned that. So let's move on. So they had gold mines. MIND. They had shit mines. Left alone. Remember, they were separated. Wasn't interaction. There was an interaction between Spain and that. But what they do? That's civilized Spain. That's civilized. In fact, they call that the Golden Age. That's whole different. When we were the vectors, primary vectors, Spain was the best country in Europe. They were civilized. They was taking baths. That's why when in 1492, Columbus came out of Spain. They come out of France. They come out of Italy. Came out of Spain. But Spain was more progressive. And then when they finally defeated the Moors in 1492, Spain was the most powerful country in Europe because they had education, they had the ships, all the technology, and everything else. How they got that from the original black people, the Moors. See the difference? When our vectors was influenced, it lifted them up. But when we was on their vectors, it forced us down because they shit vectors and we gold vectors. So we actually add value to Spain. While when we had us under control, right? They took value away from us, turned us into shit. But we was turning Spanish into. That's why do you think everybody speaks Spanish over here? Because Spanish came over here. They was the one controlled first. Hispanics. They was the primary. Why? Because the Arabs influence on them for about 700 years. Lift them up. Because they had gold mines and they took and transformed them and they had value. You understand these things, brothers and sisters. Because the opposite happened to us. Once we were under their control, did they turn us better? No. Into shit. So let's look at this, right? And that's what we was doing. While they was out there warring and killing each other, one taking baths, disease and everything else. Wasn't any disease here? Healthy people, healthy, strong, educated. Timbuktu, one of the major universities in the world, one of the best in Africa. See? This is what we was doing. Okay, let's go on. And then, boom, they got a hold of us. They got a hold of us. And now, everybody gets the same amount of energy. I told you that. So say you get $1,000, $30,000, put in terms of dollars, right? $1,000 worth of energy per day. Every individual gets that much, right? And say you got after they're all done, you got 300 disposable. I'm oversimplifying this, right? So the thing is, so that's how much you could use to control something else. Remember, you got so much energy you need it for yourself. If we got any energy left, we had just enough energy to maintain ourselves. We have no energy for anything else. If we need a 1,000 units of energy to maintain ourselves, and we only got 1,000, we had no energy for family, no energy for civilization, energy for anything. We just had enough to maintain ourselves. And if you only get down 800, then you don't have enough to even maintain yourself. We got down that bad because they got control of us. We have enough energy to maintain ourselves. So the thing is, you understand that context. So the thing is, say you got, after that, or everything else, then you got 300 left. Right? So what they did was, remember, they got shit minds. So they gave us shit minds. They gave us shit minds because they got shit minds. They had control over us, the quality. So remember I saw the thing, oppression, when shit mind, oppression, rape, that's where they treat us. Like shit. The form of energy they gave us was shit. Because what they was doing to us was energy they was controlling us with. What kind of energy? Remember, they only could, they have to put it this way. It takes energy to control something. So they had 300 units per day of energy, right? Disposable income, so to speak, right? So, but it was shit, took the form of shit, because that's the minds they had. It was oppression, war, whatever, to extent, right? So that's the influence they had on us. They couldn't do any better. That's the mindset they had. So they had something under control, so the form of their control would be shit. Murder, rape, all the different things I told you, that attributes of shit. Right? And they get us. And remember, the transition has to be equal. Okay. If they force you to do something, this is how much energy they put. They can only get that much energy back. They tell me it's capitalism profit. See, I'm exposed a hole into that. There's a greater hole in that you wasn't aware of. Right? Every action has an equal reaction. So the reaction has to be equal to the action. The reaction has to be equal to the action. So if you take and force somebody to work, but remember it takes forced energy to do it. So say you use 300 units, 500 units of energy to get them to work. Well, only thing you're gonna get back is 500 worth of back. You're really not getting a profit. The only difference is the quality that you're getting. You're still getting the same amount back. So that's why the more you gotta press more, but that means the more energy you gotta put into it. So you're not getting any profit from that. Your profit, no net profit. They said net, that means, just bottom line. But you're getting a quality profit, right? Because it was $1,000 worth of shit, but now it's $1,000. It's still net. It's still $1,000. It's still worth $1,000, but it's $1,000 worth of shit that you're giving, and you get $1,000 worth of gold back. It's still both worth $1,000. Both with the same amount. It's just that the quality is different. So when they put us through the hard class, the energy took them to put us through that, all they got back was the same amount of energy that they put in. Only it was a quality difference. Because they can't control how much energy we get. They can't control that. We can't control how much they get. Everybody gets the same amount. But they can affect the quality. And since they had shit minds, then the quality that we got from them was shit. Beaten, rape, murder, and everything else. But we gave back to them love, forgiveness. You see what I'm saying? Technology. I should have said that too. Because remember, that's technology is part of that. I don't think I included that. I think I missed that one. Technology. See? So, we're the creative people. They're not. Remember, they wasn't creating anything up there near Europe. They didn't create anything. Remember, they had to go around the world, learn to do math, learn how to build explosives, all that stuff. They wasn't building it. They had to get from other people. But they had to impress other people to get it. With their shit mind, they gave people shit, and they want to go back. That's the bottom line. How you look at it. See. And what's the goal? Oh, I want you to go. Right? Right? And I'm going to beat your ass and kill you and rape you and everything to get it, because that's the only way to know. Make me shed blood. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? But they didn't get back any more than they put in. It's just that the quality was different. So we gave back the quality that we have, right? Submission, patience. Am I making it clear for you, brothers and sisters? Like I said, you know, if you're a good person, your response to things will be good. If you're a bad person, your response to things will be bad. It's just the way it is. That's just the bottom line. So that's the only way they can do. That's what they do. Is all they can do. But they want them. But they don't. They got shit mind. But they don't want. They don't want to live a shit life. So they go and take. They can't produce gold because they did. Why did they step in Europe? How can they step in Europe and has democracy and all this stuff? How can they step in Europe and do that? How can they establish democracy and capitalism and all that great things that they America produce? Why didn't they step in Europe and do it? Why had to come over here to do it? Or if they had all that so great, how come they established that in Europe? Why did they go take other people's land and press up people and enslave? Why, if that was such a good idea, why did they just do it up in Europe? You see what I'm saying? Because what? They came out with nothing. They came out with disease and murder and rape. That's what they came out with. That's all they know. Because that's the shit minds they got. They came out with shit looking for gold. Okay, let's just take a little further about this. Okay. Let's get out of here. You see what happened? See, we transformed them to. Remember, I told you, the Moors transformed the Spanish, elevate them. Look up Spain, the so-called Dark Age. They didn't go through the Dark Ages like the rest of Europe. Look it up. The Moors had control. Moors what? Were black people, Muslims, out of Morocco. They don't want to tell you that. They were Moors, so-called Moors, another word for black. It wasn't like mixed, no. There were black people that was Muslim that came out of Morocco, and they ruled Spain for about 700 years. And Spain, they called Spain that's the Golden Age, because the people in Spain was living a peaceful life. Peaceful life. In fact, the Jews, all the Europeans, flee to Spain because they thought they was protected there, because Spain was so progressive, educated, disease-free. The plague didn't hit Spain. You know, the black plague stuff that hit Spain. See, why? Because the Moors lifted them up because they was golden, so they gave value to Spain. But when they got over here, this is the opposite. We Holocaust as opposed to the Golden Age, rape, murder. See what I'm saying? Because under their influence, when it was under our influence, it was lifted up. You understand? So then, what happens is that now. The goal is, they got all this technology, this creativity. All the creativity is coming out of here, all over the world. Every world just copying what they got from here. All the creativity coming here because of us, but they don't want to give credit to us. They say, oh, the Europeans are so creative. Why just here? Why just here? Why not create? Why not the Germans? Oh, white folks over there, right? I mean, Caucasians, whatever. And same in England. How come they're not creative? How come innovation not coming out of there? How can it only come out of here? Because we're the goose that laid the golden age. Golden age. Because it's come from us. Whole story about Joseph. They was about to die. The whole economy, everything was failing, economic, and he saved them because they didn't know what to do. There's also the same story about Joseph. I forgot the other one I was going to mention. Right? Same story. Saved them. And then they enslaved his children as a result of it. You understand? They didn't know what to do. They would have died. Had not Joseph, remember Joseph is supposed to be, the people enslaved in America supposed to be Joseph's children, his seed. That means the creator. Oh, that's the other thing I was talking about. It tells you, right, give you a hint. It tells that Pharaoh told us we couldn't, according to scripture, you have to make brick, you need a straw. He said, well, you can't make straw anymore, you have to make brick without straw, but you have to be creative. They give all these little hints. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happened. They turned us, see what they did to us? They turned us into shit. Just like we turned the Spanish into gold, because that's the influence held in them. But when they got actual, they turned us into shit like them. And we turned them into gold. So they got all this technology, they got all this military, all this stuff. That's coming from us. They didn't have it before. That's why everything's coming out of music, all that stuff's coming out of here. We're the gold is producing, but they can't tell us. Because if we figure it out, then we might make some demands they don't like. That's why I want you to leave. Because if you leave, what will happen? See, then if everybody found that they're not creative at all. They're coming from us. But see what they did to us? And we're still producing gold for them today. Because remember, you got to keep fueling this. If you take your foot off that balloon, it's going to rise up. So if we still build that means they still got force in place that you may not see. You can't see the wind, but you can see the effect of the wind. That means these Democrats, Republicans, maybe you can look at our condition. Farrakhan trying to blame it on us. He's trying to say, oh, the leaves just shaking. I don't know why they're shaking. No, because the goddamn wind is blowing them. But Farrakhan tell you, no, man, something wrong with them damn leaves, man. So you be shaking and stuff. And that's why you're going to fall off that damn tree, because you're shaking. Why? You need to stop. You need to repent. You need to stop shaking up there. That's what he's saying to you. And we know it's shaking because of the goddamn wind. But you're shaking. So we just are sinful. Yet all these devils around us, but they don't have no influence on us. Because he's one of them. Father's the devil. So you look at us, then you know who the people are that's affecting us. We're under their control. So you look at that and see, that tells you exactly who they are. They're wicked, they're devil, they're hoes, they're pimps, liars and murderers. That's the effect how it turns into shit. Because they're shit. And we turn them to gold. So they walk around, oh, see, gold, man, we gold. And look at all the technology we have and everything else. You see, they control our energy. They control the quality of our energy. So they give us the shit and we give them the gold. They change the quality of our energy because they give us, right? Yeah. Remember, you give 300, you got 300 back. That's where consequence work. You give same thing, male-female relationship. You give her your male attributes, if you're the best, and she give her female attributes the best. Once equal transfer. Equal transfer. She get 500, you get 500 back. That's to keep the balance. Otherwise, it's misbalanced. Then you got negative energy, all that kind of stuff going on. The bottom line still comes out net, come out to equal. So if they're giving us 300, right? Because right now, look, we're under their control. They tell us how much what we can buy, what we can sell, where we can live, and everything else. They control the quality of it. They can't control the energy that we get, the amount of energy we create. They can't control the amount of energy we get the same much they get. They only control the quality of it. So they give us the shit, but they mad that we give them the gold because they can't get it. We can only produce it. And they can't. Understand that, brothers and sisters. Okay? So when you look at this, that's who they are. When you look at them, that's who we are. All this technology, all this cell phone, all this stuff, everything, that's who we are. Because they're coming out of ours. See? That's who we are. See? And this is who they are. Every reaction has opposite reaction. So look at the opposite. And see, when you see it, look at the opposites. That's who's affecting who. You got everything thinking backwards. See? You guys thinking backwards. So this is who they are, what they claim we are, and who they claim they are, that's who we are. We're the masters. They try to play their God or you put them on top of everything because of us. What's going on? You see here? No, this is another thing right here, right? This is that Cosby shit. See, he's no demon. He's like one of them. See, you give your children, because they're influenced, right? Here you are. You give your children gold. Love, all the attributes gold, right? What are they giving you back? Look at them. Give you shit back. Anger, mad, talk back and everything else. Because this fool right here, he's part of that. we give our children all this and we get this back from them. That didn't happen before this fool came along. Everybody traces back, even this woman she was talking, she traced all this back to the 70s. Because they turn on our children. It's all back to the false Israel, that kind of stuff. They need to turn the volume. Okay? So just keep us divided, but go back to the cradle. Make sure it starts right back there in the cradle. Because our kids so divisive now, you can't talk to them about anything. They know more than anything you. That wasn't before. When I was a child, if you ain't there, you wouldn't live very long. When the civil rights came, they started losing control over you. They said, let's get to the children. When civil rights movement came in, when they started losing control over you, so-called civil rights, they had two sides that you had. One's the demons want to get close to the master, and Elijah wanted to get head away. That was the black folks get more energized. Got more energized. You had two paths. One going to take the energy in the devil's direction, because that's the mind they have. And one going to apply in the original direction, because that's the mind they have. So one say, hey, man, I want to get the hell out of here. And I would say, I want to get close to the master, my daddy. And so they said, well, remember, they don't want to lose control of us. So, hey, go after the children. That's what we did. So you can't tell the children, hey, look at them. Oh, he give them love and everything else, and look what you get back. This is the devil's doing. That's going to change in a minute. That's why I'm going after the root. You see here? And Farrakhan's part of it. We ain't going nowhere. So what would the solution be? The obvious solution would be to stop that transition, stop that process, get away from it. Because they changing our goal to shit. So get away from it so we keep our goal. We don't want that shit. The obvious separation is to get the hell away. Pharaoh said, we ain't going nowhere. The devil's the one. That's what Pharaoh said. Pharaoh said, no, you can't let him go. And that's what Pharaoh said. Remember, he's one of them. Because the obvious solution, like Elijah Muhammad said, is get the hell out of here. So now they stop transforming your gold into shit that you even eating it. We was going out there and raising cattle and all this stuff for them. And they was eating steaks and whatever they was eating, right? Steaks and chops and whatever, right? Bacon, right? And what was we? We was eating shit. Shitlins. And we something so damn stupid. After we got a chance to buy our own stuff, we still buying it because they took the S off and put a C there. That don't change the fact it's still shitlins. Or called chitlins now. Just take the C off and put an S there, and they still sell at Walmart. So it's not still that's dumb stupid. They was feeding us shit by that. Well, but was preparing. How was they getting that? How was they getting that? Steaks and stuff. We was preparing the stuff for them, but we couldn't eat it. We was doing that stuff and cooking it for it too. Not only raising it and feeding it and taking care of it and slaughtering all that stuff for them, and we couldn't eat any of it, and even cooking it for them. And they gave us the shit. We gave them the gold, they gave us the shit. That's a transition, a symbiotic relationship. And the only solution anybody can tell you, the only clear solution is to get the hell out of that relationship. Get away from it. The Pharaoh said, no, we want to stay, you want to stay, because he's part of it. He's got rich off of giving you shit for 42 years. He ain't gave you a goddamn thing but shit. And he's rich. He ain't produced anything in the Nation of Islam. Islam is basically probably bankrupt. It's not worth anything. But him and the highest son is a millionaire too. That dumbass. See what I'm saying? And you don't see it? Oh, we love her. What do let's say? I love dope and give you nothing? Right? Well, I'd be better off getting nothing than getting shit, but right? You understand, brothers and sisters? You understand that out there? If I'm behind, I would say you going to, he getting rich off of you. He got rich off of you. He says he's robbing the nation. It says in Malachi, this stuff is so simple. Who's robbing the nation? He's got rich off the nation. He hasn't produced a goddamn thing in 40-some years. And plus, he's cursed with a curse. Cancer. Okay, so watch this. Now, see, look, like billionaire, man, I got yachts, everything else. What you got? See, here you are, over here selling drugs and crazy. You look at women, look how they turn the women out. See? That was, see? And wham. And then Suleiman comes. See, that's why I say seek the messenger of the covenant, because he's the only one. Elijah came, all he could do is prepare you to get out of here. To get you prepared to get out of here, like you prepared going to you got to clean up, you got to pack and everything else. But you still got to survive where you are. That's what Elijah's job wasn't to get you out, to prepare to get out of here. But he went seeking, and so Suleiman he had the power to lift you up. That's why he says seeking, he had the power to get you out of here, and he's going to do it. That's if you want to get out. Only ones that want to get out. See? So once that happens, now you're over here. You got your goal. Everybody mess. You ain't transfer. Your goal is your goal. So now you live a goal life. Everything is built. You're building all these beautiful things, everything like you was doing before. Pyramid, all these beautiful things, right? And look at them. They back there stuck in their shit no more. They ain't getting any more out of gold. All they got is shit. They back to caveman again. This is not just a joke, bro. This is exactly what the deal is. See, they back there with the little banjo. Hey, I went downtown in Mommy's town and I'm going to buy me some pork chops and give me a little dog. That was their music level. The whole world's rocking to this music coming out of black people, and they take it and assimilating it, copying it. They ain't creating it. They ain't creating a new music life form. No one's created a new music form. The blues, that was us. 50 years later, jazz, that's us. 50 years later, Motown and rock, that's us. Nobody invented anything. Everything they took, their rock, all that kind of stuff is just as, next day, say Elvis Presley, I forgot Chuck Berry was, whatever, he's copying off of him. They copy all, like, what's it, Eminem and all them. They invented that stuff, they invented this music, none of it. They copy it. And now new life, now 50 years later, it's time for a new music form. Because human has to, the music reflect our emotional condition. But that's no story I talked about before. See what happens? Now we home. Now we home, sisters, brothers home with their goal. And left them with their shit, because they can't do anything. That's all they can do. Because that's all they got, a shit mind. They can't build anything, they can't do anything with it. Once we separate, we home now. And they back to, that's the best they can do. That's what they did in Dark Age, that's what they did when there was a cage for 2,000 years, or whatever it was. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. Right, because I got another issue, but you see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Not a little issue, but some people know what I'm talking about. Anyway, see what I'm talking about? This is simple mathematics. Now show me anything I said is wrong. Show me the mathematics that shows that's wrong. That's simple mathematics. And exactly how things occurred. And that's exactly how they end up. They ended back in the caves, like Elijah Muhammad said. Those that survived that far, which is hell. And they got the same much energy we have, but they can't do any more to it because their mind wouldn't allow them to, right? That's the best they can do is kick rocks and eat each other and whatever they're doing. And now all our gold belongs to us. They can't control it anymore. So we built a great civilization, beautiful. Our women, they watch the page now. You think they're going to be there? Brothers, man, they're going to be, this is going to love these brothers, but they're going to can't get enough of these brothers. Man, talking about the heart, man, they're going to be like, And they'll be so protect these sisters, this is going to be, ain't be the wall. Brother me, right? Watching every footstep they make sure and not get on it. That's how we protect. We're gonna be these sisters. Honey, can I? You need help, sister? Honey? Hold your hand. This is gonna get tired after a while. Man, why don't you get out of the way, man? I can't do nothing. They will get tired of us after a while. We're gonna be so protective of them, like we're supposed to be. That's what we always was. We're always gonna continue to be. Like, you know how these brothers protect their moms? They can be worse than that. Sister's gonna get mad. Get mad as a wild man. Get the hell out of here. I can't do anything, man. I can't eat food. I go to eat food. You grab the fork and try to feed me. It's beautiful, brothers and sisters. I tell you, the relationship between the original black man and it's the best. It's the best relationship in the world. It's the best interaction in the world ever. We've always loved each other. This is an anomaly. This Holocaust thing. But in a way, it teaches us to appreciate our natural affinity for each other. Because before we kind of like took for granted. I mean, that was just the way it was, right? But now, after all this, then we look at it again, maybe we're gonna, and at least the first few generations, but then about 20 generations, our kids gonna be back, forgot about all this and everything else, and not gonna be, But when you first get there, you're gonna really appreciate this because you said, damn, after what you just had, I've been eating shit all my life, now you get some caviar, you're gonna be appreciative of it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, I gotta go. So I had much more, but hope you understand. Now show me what's wrong. I get $1,000, show me the error in the master max here. They can't. That's why they have nothing to say. The judgment comes, the judgment will be harsh, extremely harsh. Assalamu alaikum. That's Farrakhan. Same thing, giving us shit, giving them gold. Okay, I get all my outlook here. Okay, let me close, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.